Hi there, this is Asia from English Boost, and this is your podcast where English meets productivity, mindset, and self-growth. Learn smarter, speak better, and feel more confident. So grab your coffee and let's boost your English together. Hello. Today I want to talk to you about something that might completely change the way you look at your English learning routine, and it's called decision fatigue. And it might actually be the real reason why you plan to study after work or in the evening, for example, but somehow you just don't feel like doing it and you end up putting it off. Kończy się na tym, że to odkładasz. By the way, I'm actually planning to record a separate episode where I'm going to explain this structure, so stay tuned. Coming back. So let me start with a simple question. Have you ever noticed that in the morning you feel clear-headed, focused, motivated, but by the evening, even choosing what to eat for dinner feels overwhelming, right? And that's decision fatigue. Throughout the day, your brain makes hundreds, sometimes even thousands of small decisions like what to wear, which email to answer first, how to respond in a meeting, what tasks to prioritize, right? And each decision uses up a lot of our mental energy. And by the end of the day, your brain is simply tired. Not lazy, just tired, okay? And to be honest, I've experienced it firsthand. So after 8 hours of work, being, constantly focused, creative, coming up with some content for you, recording videos for you, I just feel like I've run out of steam, I've run out of energy, and I just don't feel like doing anything else. I just feel like there is just no space for that. And I suppose it might sound familiar, right? So now think about this. Learning English is not a passive activity, right? It's active. Of course, on condition that you do it properly, but learning English in this active way requires a lot of focus, a lot of attention, a lot of memory, mental flexibility, discipline. And if you just, leave it for 7 or 8 p.m. in the evening after a full day of work, meetings, and many responsibilities, then you're basically asking your exhausted brain to perform at its best when it's not actually thinking clearly anymore. So no wonder it feels hard, no wonder you just don't feel like doing it, because it's not about motivation, it's all about this mental energy you've got. And this is why I always recommend learning English in the morning, because it's simply much more effective. Because in the morning, your willpower, twoja siła woli, is stronger. You haven't really made a lot of decisions yet, right? Your brain hasn't been overloaded yet. Your attention is sharper. You have a lot of focus, right? So you haven't yet spent this, let's say, daily decision budget, okay? Even 10 or 15 minutes in the morning can be really more powerful than, 40 tired minutes in the evening when you're just revising vocabulary, but actually nothing stays in your mind, right? You're kind of doing it automatically, or you're trying to maybe work on your grammar, you're doing some exercises, but your mind is in a completely different place. So remember that it's not about the amount of time spent on learning English, it's actually about the quality of your attention, okay? And now just to give you an example, so imagine this scenario. You wake up, before checking your mailbox, before scrolling Instagram, before you even start your work, you spend 10 minutes revising some vocabulary or even full sentences. That's my way of doing this. I love revising sentences. I think it's very effective. Or perhaps you watch one video class from my video course, for example, and that's it. So small effort, high quality focus, and now compare that with learning English at 9:30 p.m., right? You're tired, you've made decisions all day, you still have things on your mind, and of course it feels heavier, it feels harder, right? And you don't feel like doing this. So now I know what you might be thinking. Okay, Asha, but I'm not a morning person. And that's okay, because this is not about waking up at 5 a.m. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. I don't do it anymore. So I completely understand you. But it's about protecting your best mental energy. So for some people, that's early morning, right? 5 a.m. Or perhaps the time you spend commuting to work. So I do believe that it's possible to find these 10 minutes or even 5 minutes and squeeze them into your busy schedule. So if you don't have time in the morning because you have, 3 kids and before work you have a lot to be done, then perhaps you could spend this time when you commute to work to revise some vocabulary, right? So for others, it might be late morning or even early afternoon. But the key question is, when is your brain the freshest? When are you most focused, most motivated? When do you have this biggest amount of energy? So that's when you should actually schedule your learning session, okay? So not when you have time, because we both know there is always something on the way. But when you have energy, this is when you should schedule your learning sessions. And there's another powerful trick you can actually use, namely reduce the number of decisions connected with learning English. So this is something I very often observe among my clients. So every day they waste a lot of energy on focusing what to do today, what to learn today, what should I study, how long should my session be, which resources, which ebooks, which video courses should I focus on. So my idea is reduce the number of decisions connected with learning English every day. And how to do it? Simply by planning it the day before, or even better, and this is what I always suggest. So every Saturday or Sunday, because I believe we do have a bit more time at weekends, right? So every Saturday or Sunday, just sit down, grab some coffee or tea and make a specific plan for the upcoming week. So what are you going to learn every day? When exactly are you going to learn every day? And you have to be as specific as possible. So how long is the session going to be? What exactly will you do? So even if it's a particular course, particular ebook, then write down which lesson from that video course it's going to be, which exercise from that ebook it's going to be, okay? So that when the time comes, you just sit down, you look at your plan and you know exactly what you're going to do, okay? Because every time you think what to focus on, what to learn today, then you drain more energy instead of actually spending this energy on your learning sessions, right? So to sum up, maybe the problem is not that you lack discipline, okay? Maybe the problem is that you're scheduling your learning sessions at the worst possible time. So my suggestion is try this for 1 week. Move your English sessions to the morning, okay? And of course, adjust it to your life or work circumstances. Maybe you're gonna wake up earlier, maybe you're gonna wake up at 5 or maybe 10 minutes earlier than you're used to waking up, okay? Or maybe it's gonna be midday, maybe it's gonna be when you're commuting to work. Try to find these 10 or 5 minutes that you can actually squeeze into your busy schedule, okay? Even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes. And remember to protect this energy, to protect these, slots. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Do let me know in the comments when during the day you actually feel mentally the strongest. And also let me know what time during the day do you actually learn English. Is it morning? Is it midday? Is it evening? So just let me know in the comments, okay? And if you've enjoyed this mindset-focused episode, then make sure to follow this podcast so you don't miss the next one. Cheers!